What if everything you believe about time, past, present, and future is nothing more than a story we've all agreed to tell ourselves? Think about it. From the moment you were old enough to understand the world, you were taught a simple rule: time moves forward. Yesterday is gone forever. Tomorrow is waiting to be shaped. And right now is the only thing that truly exists. It feels obvious, doesn't it? You remember yesterday, you anticipate tomorrow, and you feel yourself moving through today. Every tick of the clock ring, every passing second seems to confirm the same thing. That time is flowing like a river, carrying you along whether you want it to or not. But here's the twist. What if that feeling isn't proof at all? What if it's an illusion so convincing that you've never had a reason to question it? Because the truth is, this story of time, the disappearing past, the open future, the flowing present, wasn't something you discovered on your own. It was handed to you, reinforced by teachers, repeated in documentaries, embedded in the very language we use every day. We say things like time is running out or we're moving forward. Every phrase assumes motion. Every sentence quietly programs the same belief that time flows. And yet physics, the deepest and most precise description of reality we have, doesn't actually require that idea at all. In fact, the closer scientists look, the less room there seems to be for time as we experience it. So today, let's challenge one of the most fundamental assumptions of human existence. Let's ask the question most of us are too afraid to ask: what if time isn't real? From the very beginning of our lives, we're handed a simple story about time, so deeply woven into our culture, our language, and even our everyday habits that we rarely stop to question it. We're told that time is like a river, always flowing forward. The past is behind us, gone forever. The future lies ahead, waiting to be shaped. And the present, this exact moment, is the only thing that truly exists. It feels natural, doesn't it? You remember yesterday, you anticipate tomorrow. You feel yourself moving through today. Every tick of the clock seems to confirm the same thing: time is moving, and we're moving with it. But here's the catch. This isn't a truth you discovered on your own. It's a story you were taught. Teachers reinforced it in classrooms. Documentaries repeated it on TV, and language itself quietly programmed it into your mind. Think about the phrases we use every single day. Time is running out. We're moving forward. Time flies. Every one of these expressions assumes motion. They don't just describe reality. They shape how we believe reality works. And yet physics, the most precise description of the universe we've ever built, doesn't actually require this flowing river of time at all. In fact, the deeper scientists look, the less room there seems to be for time as we experience it. So maybe the story we've been told isn't the whole truth. Maybe it's just a useful narrative, a way to make sense of change, but not the fundamental reality of the universe. Now, here's where things get really strange. For centuries, we've assumed that time is the thing causing change. Clocks tick, seconds pass, systems evolve, and everything around us seems to move forward. So naturally, the conclusion feels obvious: time must be the invisible force pushing reality along. But when physicists started writing down the fundamental laws of the universe, equations meant to describe everything from the tiniest particles to the largest galaxies, they noticed something unsettling. The math worked perfectly well without time flowing at all. Think about that for a second. These equations describe relationships, structures, and states of reality, but they don't need a universal ticking clock to make sense. Change still happens, but change doesn't necessarily mean time is causing it. Instead of confronting this head on, the scientific community did what humans often do when faced with something uncomfortable. They adapted the math to preserve the story. They kept time in the narrative because removing it would mean dismantling one of our deepest intuitions, the belief that life is unfolding moment by moment. But what if that intuition is wrong? What if the past isn't gone, the future isn't open, and your life isn't something being written in real time? What if it already exists in full, like a complete structure, and the feeling of movement is just perception? This is where physics collides directly with intuition. On one side, you have equations that don't require time to flow. On the other, you have your undeniable experience of living in a world that feels like it's moving forward. Reconciling those two perspectives is one of the greatest challenges in science, and one of the most unsettling questions for all of us. Now let's dive into one of the strangest discoveries in modern physics, something scientists call the problem of time. In the 1960s, when physicists John Wheeler and Bryce DeWitt tried to do something incredibly ambitious, write down an equation that could describe the entire universe at once. Not just particles, not just galaxies, but everything, the whole cosmos in a single mathematical framework. The result was the Wheeler-DeWitt equation. At first glance, it looked like a breakthrough. It treated the universe as one giant quantum system described by a single wave function, bold, elegant, powerful. But then came the shock when physicists examined the equation closely. They realized something was missing: time. There was no variable for time, no ticking parameter, no distinction between past and future. The equation didn't describe how the universe evolves. It described a universe that simply is, a static, timeless reality. This wasn't a minor detail. Time is supposed to be fundamental, the stage on which everything happens. And yet here was one of the most important equations ever written, and it didn't need time at all. Physicists called this unsettling discovery the problem of time. But notice the framing. They didn't call it the discovery of timeless reality. They called it a problem because accepting what the math was saying would mean abandoning one of our deepest assumptions, that time flows. So instead of embracing the radical idea, the scientific community tried to fix it. Over the decades, countless approaches were proposed to reintroduce time artificially. Some suggested that time might emerge from deeper, timeless laws, appearing only at larger scales, the way temperature emerged from microscopic motion. Others introduced internal clocks, physical systems within the universe that could act as reference points, creating the illusion of time passing. These models were mathematically sophisticated, carefully constructed, and still actively researched today. But beneath all of them lies an uncomfortable truth. They are workarounds, attempts to restore something the core equation never required in the first place. It's like finding a map of a city that shows every street, every building, every detail, except for any indication that movement exists. And then trying to add arrows afterward to explain how people travel through it. The deeper question remains untouched. What if the arrows were never real to begin with? While most physicists tried to patch the absence of time back into their equations, one thinker chose a completely different path. Julian Barbour looked at the same problem and asked a far more unsettling question: what if time was never there to begin with? In his book, The End of Time, Barbour argued that reality isn't a flowing timeline at all. Instead, it's made up of countless timeless snapshots, complete configurations of the universe that exist all at once. He called this collection Photonia. Imagine it like this: every possible arrangement of the universe, every particle, every star, every neuron firing in your brain exists as a perfectly detailed snapshot. One of those snapshots is you watching this video right now. Another is you waking up this morning. Another is you years older. Another is your final breath. Of these snapshots are ahead or behind. None are being created or destroyed. They all simply exist, equally real, equally complete. So why does it feel like we're moving through time? Barbour's answer is memory. Some snapshots contain records of other snapshots. Your brain in its current state contains memories of what you call the past. Those memories create the illusion of continuity, the sense that you came from somewhere and are heading somewhere else. But in reality, you're not moving at all. You're just in one configuration that happens to contain evidence of others. And here's the unsettling part. If every version of you already exists, the one who succeeded, the one who failed, the one who made a different choice, then what does it mean to say you're becoming something? Barbour's answer is blunt: you're not becoming anything. You already are across countless configurations. This flips our entire understanding of existence. Instead of a journey unfolding moment by moment, reality becomes a vast landscape of nows. Your life isn't a film playing forward. It's a path your mind constructs as it relates one snapshot to another. The flow of time, the sense of progression, is not a property of the universe. It's a property of perception. So if the universe itself doesn't require time to flow, then why does it feel so real to us? Why do we experience life as a journey moving from past to future? The answer may not lie in physics at all, but in us, in the way our brains construct reality. Think about how your mind works right now. You're listening to these words. Inside your brain, there are memories of what you've already heard. That's what you call the past. And there are expectations of what's coming next. That's what you call the future. Together, those two things create a sense of direction, a feeling that you're moving forward. But here's the twist: that movement isn't happening in the universe. It's happening in your perception. Your brain stitches together memory and anticipation, layering one moment on top of another, and the result is the illusion of flow. In other words, the passage of time may not be a property of reality. It may be a property of consciousness. The universe itself could be timeless, a fixed structure where every moment already exists, and what you experience as time passing is simply your mind processing information one slice at a time. That realization is both unsettling and liberating. It means the most familiar experience you have, the feeling of time slipping through your fingers, might not be telling you something about the universe at all. It might be telling you something about how limited your perspective really is. And here's where the idea of a timeless universe collides with something deeply personal: free will. If every moment already exists, your past, your present, your future, then what happens to choice? At first glance, it feels like free will disappears because free will depends on openness. It depends on the idea that the future isn't fixed, that your decisions can shape what comes next. But in a block universe, or in Barbour's Plotonia, there is no next. There is only what already is. Every decision you think you're about to make, every hesitation, every outcome is already embedded in the structure of reality. That realization can feel unsettling, even crushing. If nothing can be changed, then what does it mean to act? If every outcome already exists, what does it mean to hope? If every version of your life is already fixed, what does it mean to try? But there's another way to see it. If every moment exists equally, then nothing is ever truly lost. Every joy you felt, every connection you've made, every second you wish you could go back to, they're all still there, preserved as part of reality's timeless structure. Meaning doesn't vanish, it shifts. It's not about shaping the future. It's about recognizing that your experiences, your choices, your life are already woven into the fabric of existence. So yes, the idea of a timeless universe challenges our sense of agency. It forces us to rethink what it means to choose to act, to live, but it also offers a strange kind of comfort, the assurance that every moment of your life, from your first breath to your last, is eternally real, not fleeting, not gone, but part of a complete and unchanging whole. So after all of this, we're left with one of the most unsettling questions in science and in life. On one side, we have equations that don't require time to flow. On the other, we have our undeniable experience of living in a world that feels like it's moving forward. Reconciling those two perspectives isn't just a scientific puzzle. It's an existential challenge. Maybe time isn't something we move through at all. Maybe it's something we create inside our minds, a story stitched together from memory and anticipation, giving us the illusion of progress. And if that's true, then the universe isn't a river carrying us forward. It's a timeless structure already complete, with every moment of your life preserved forever. That idea can feel unsettling, but it can also be strangely comforting, because if every moment exists, then nothing is ever truly lost. Every joy, every connection, every second you've lived is still part of reality's fabric. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think? Is time real or just an illusion? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if this video made you question even a little what you thought you knew, don't forget to subscribe and join the conversation. After all, exploring ideas like this is how we expand our view of reality, one timeless moment at a time.